don't know if it's like got a ribbon.
What do you mean? A ribbon?
Because you know how some of them inside they've got like a ribbon thing that allows you to use it anywhere and it'll still be the same. And then some mics you have to be in front or and then you get the right vocals.
Cool. Yeah. Anyway, what were you were telling me something?
I was just talking about the fact that we need to start talking about the differences in trans rights and women's rights and how they might start infringing on each other.
Wow, that's a great way to start. Hi guys, welcome to today's podcast episode.
Yeah.
Special guest, Sybil.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That's good oral.
Ooh. Thank you so much for having me.
What's that? Ooh.
It's the excitement in my voice.
That's good. We like excitement.
Good.
Obviously, I'm glad that we recently saw each other, and I'm glad you're a listener.
Yeah.
Sitting here with one of the listeners.
Yeah.
Is there like a particular episode that I put out that really stands out to you?
Well, I definitely liked the episode with my cousin. That was interesting. Chit chat.
Yeah. Who's your cousin?
Oh, sorry, Bernice.
Yeah.
Shout out to my girl. Yeah. That was definitely interesting in terms of. I like the point of view that you guys made. I don't want to like go into rehashing the episode because it's a different episode. But
if anyone wants to check it out, it's available. Yeah.
I definitely enjoyed that and had a good listen. I remember your first one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was good because
it was fun and light.
Yeah, it was just like an introduction, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, and now we've done like a full circle.
Yeah.
You're now in the chair.
Yeah.
It's not really the host sit because I'm sitting right next to you. And I'm in the same chair.
Yeah.
But the first thing Sybil mentioned to me, are you okay to discuss like, interesting topics? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that? Would you say you're that type of person that just a little bit, I don't know, I'll let you say the word.
I wouldn't say controversial, but I definitely like talking about topics that are in the moment and are a bit difficult to talk about. Because in the moment, which means things are going on right now, you can only capture what you're trying to say. Talking about the past, a lot of people would have already spoken about it, so you can rehearse what they've said and then put your points, but it's not happening. When we're talking about what's going on now, it's like a live opinion, and I like to do that.
And also you say exactly how you feel because things are affecting you now. You don't want them to affect you and then talk about them in the future. You want to say, this affected me and this is what I did about it. Or I did kind of raise my voice about it.
Yeah. Or I had an opinion that can be challenged. I don't feel like my opinions are opinions that cannot be challenged.
Yeah.
But it's an opinion worth expressing because in that opinion there is also confusion because I am confused about certain things
and trying to learn.
And then trying to learn. Definitely.
I think if I was to redefine that term controversial, I would just say just people that are looking for answers. And clearly if there's some people looking for answers, then we don't have the answers. This brings us to our topic. Recently a video, I don't know, do you want to play it for audio sake? I will just put up the video.
Okay
Yeah,
do you want to play it now?
You can play just a little snippet. Yeah,
okay, wait,
because I recently watched it and I just came across it, so I caught it on, I don't know if you know this channel on YouTube, Abba and Preach.
That's exactly where I first saw it from.
I first saw it from there. I was just like, wait. I need to what have I missed? Like, where was I? What's been happening?
That's so funny.
So So anyway, go ahead.
Okay, I'll press play on the video.
So it's okay. I just want to be clear with you. It's okay. It's okay for a man to go into the women's section, show his penis around the other women, young little girls underage. Your spa, we spa, condone that. Is that what you're saying? Like I asked. It's so he can stay there. He can stay there. What sexual orientation? I see a dick. It lets me know he's a man. We spa, so you.
I think you can stop there.
Yeah.
I think if you're listening, you'll get it. Like, this video is available. You can catch it online.
Instagram. Shall I tell you her handle?
Yes.
Her handle is Cubana Angel, and it says Christ is King. So that's how you know it's her if you want to see the full video.
I mean, otherwise you can go see like a different take on this. This to Abba and Preach. That's where I found it.
Yeah, that's where I found it as well. I didn't even tell you about that. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch the video. I was like confused because I was shocked. This is actually a thing. Not that I should be shocked, to be fair, but I was shocked it was actually a thing. Like, you know, thinking about it and actually it happening are two different things.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
It was happening. Before, I was like, imagine. And then now it's like, yes, it is happening. Like, what's your take on that? What was your reaction when you saw the video?
My first reaction was there needs to be an answer for this because all there are is complaints. I know that personally, I feel like creating another section is a good answer to a lot of these things. Because I know the safety of children comes into terms of what you see when you're young and what you do not need to see. Irrespective of the man or woman's ideals or what they believe they are, that's fine. But then it comes to the thing of safety of children. If it was a man that just decided to be trans for a day or... I'm not sure if I'm not saying that guy was the guy, but I'm saying if there was someone who has that ideal, it's telling me that it's now okay for them to do that. And that's why I get shocked. But then there's the other thing where it comes into, okay, trans people deserve the right to go into a changing room and change.
And feel safe.
And feel safe.
Yeah.
And that's true. They do deserve that. But also women and children deserve the right to go to a changing room and also feel safe.
100%. So if a woman expresses like, listen, I don't feel like I'm comfortable having a trans man. Forget about toilets. This is a changing room. So let me just give a little background about this little video, just a summary. This trans man went into a female only changing room, and within, I suppose, trans rights, he's a female.
Yeah.
But this is someone who hasn't fully
transitioned
into a full woman. Like body
biological,
biological or looking, anything like visible,
appearance.
Anything you can see, appearance.
Yeah.
So this is a man who still has a penis and probably was still going through his transition, and he entered a female changing room, not toilet, changing room. Because toilets you can go into a cubicle. Usually female toilets have cubicles, so no one's really seeing anything.
Yeah.
It's the changing rooms, because when I was growing up, changing rooms, you walk in and you just see
a
female just
person
walking around naked. And because you're just a female and you have similar things, you are not that worried. Of course, you might feel a little bit insecure showing your body, but you're comfortable and you know the people that I'm looking at are females and we share the same body parts.
Yeah.
Imagine,
and it's a right that we have earned as women
100%.
To have this space. There is something offsetting, I believe,
Yeah.
when... I get it, there's trans rights that's necessary. I understand that. But don't forget women's rights as well. If women feel uncomfortable with seeing a penis walking around, they should have the right to say that. And if you feel like you want to represent yourself as a woman, then you know that there is going to be some pushback, and be ready to accept the pushback. Change somewhere that no one needs to see that.
Yeah.
Because irrespective of the gender identifying trans or all of that, it's still a penis. That's what it was. The woman was upset that there's a penis just freely walking around in the space where they're not supposed to see that.
The space where she had her own kids.
Yeah. And think about it. If it was a man who was non-identifying and just came in there, everyone would be like, yo, you need to get out because you're showing your...
Yeah, exactly. Your private parts.
Thank you.
That don't match what's on the
door. So go somewhere else. And I honestly feel like they need to create a space where people who might not identify as certain things can go and feel safe.
Yeah.
And the women who identify with this and want this can feel safe, because this is the day and age where all you need to do is create extra space.
True.
But do they want to create the extra space? That's where it is.
So do you think it's the the trans to blame?
No.
Or do you think it's the establishments that actually
it's establishments that need to now, if you're going to give trans right, understand that there is going to be pushback.
And you should be ready.
The
space, exactly.
For the inclusivity. Don't just say, okay, well, we have to go with the government. We're going with the government rule. They identify as women, so they can go. Understand that there's going to be people who are uncomfortable with that. So create that space where if you're not uncomfortable, you can go here.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with sports, but I won't go into all of that.
Have you seen the sports one?
Sports is a very touchy subject. It's very close to my heart, and this one stays really close to me because I honestly feel like it's unfair what's going on right now.
No, you know what? That is so true. Because, I mean, something the guys, like, where I saw this video, Abba and Preach, they mentioned, it's easier for, like, a trans woman? It's
easier for a trans man
to go into a male's toilet and not have any pushbacks
than it is for a trans woman 100%. To go into a female toilet, because there is still that. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I understand we're in 2021 now and there's a lot of freedom, but there's still a lot of women who are still conservative.
Yeah.
And still want the right to privacy.
100%. And we should respect them as much as they respect, you know. And you know what? That also creates this animosity and hate. Because if you don't give me the choice to say yes or no, I'm happy for that person to share a bathroom with me, and you just kind of force them upon me, I'm going to hate this person. So you're essentially making me hate this person without me ever wanting to hate the person.
Exactly, because you put them in an uncomfortable position to go with. You don't account for the fact that actually these people who've been having it a certain way might want to keep having it a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm saying now is in no way saying that trans women don't deserve the same rights. It's saying they deserve the safe space for themselves so they don't have things like this happening. It's saying if you're going to give that law where they have to be included, create a safe space for them.
Yeah. No,
and also
I'm with
keep
you in that
the
one.
safe spaces that are there for women. Simple.
Yeah. I mean, protect the safe spaces that for women. Clearly, I think we were talking earlier, and you said back in the day, females had to fight to get
the rights to just get toilets.
Exactly,
because they needed that privacy. You know? That was fought for a lot of the times. It's like unisex or whatever, and they didn't think about it. But now that it's there, it's like, don't just change it without giving us a way for us to accept it.
And also, who are these people? If there was, say, like a voting poll or whatever, who are the people voting? Because I've never seen that poll. Is it something that I've missed on social media? Like,
I don't know.
Would you be happy with, like, I don't get it. Like,
I think there should be a general thing where in government, if they're going to change and create trans rights and trans law, assess what...
Which they should do.
They should definitely do. I feel like they deserve all the same rights. They deserve to go to work without being bullied. They deserve to 100%, not be hurt.
Yeah.
But create a safe space for them. Because all it is going to cause is pushback from both sides. It's going to make trans-loving people feel like, oh, people who are not accepting of them coming to the toilets are trans-hating people. And that's not necessarily true.
That's not, no.
And it's going to make people who are trying to understand the trans community feel a certain type of way because they feel like they're not safe. When you don't feel safe, you don't like who's next to you. And if who's next to you is saying they look like you, but they don't, you feel like you're being cheated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of cheating, you I don't know if you can't talk about this about your date situation.
Oh my god!
Tell me about that.
I won't mention the person's name because I believe in privacy, and also like I deleted the person from my socials and every part of me.
Yeah.
So I met a person on a dating app. I'll just say that I'm not going to say dating app either.
Yeah.
This person presented as very male, and I would have been none the wiser if they told me they were not. So I went on a date with this said person. We're having a great time, a good night.
Did they look like a
physique,
like
big built?
Yeah,
like big,
like gym goer.
Like
they look like they were going to
a bit buff, like testosterone and hitting, and he had chiseled jaw. I remember like nice little after, what's the one, you know, when it's not a beard but it's really like
side, are they called side bands?
After 5 after shadow
5 o'clock shadow
5 o'clock shadow, I don't know.
Isn't that like the stubble look?
I don't know, he had stubble.
Okay.
And then the date was going well, the evening was going fine. Went outside for a cigarette / drink, and then he kissed me, and I was like, oh, it was kind of funny. And then I can't remember what exactly happened. A joke happened about, it was just a sexual joke. I made a sexual joke about maybe we'll, you know, it's none of your business anyways. And then he said, oh, I don't have a penis. And I was like, I said, I remember this because this is the part
just
that
like
changed
that.
the conversation. Yeah, it was like a light thing, like, oh, something about not having a penis or whatever. And then I was like, don't be disgusting, because there's lots of people in this world who don't have that. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, I was thinking about trans people at that moment.
Yeah, exactly,
because I was like, whoa, this guy's making a weird trans joke. That's not funny.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, no, I really don't have a penis. Like, I transitioned. And I was like, what?
I don't know why I'm laughing, but your reaction.
I was like, what? It caught off guard, one. And then I moved back, and then he was like, why are you moving back? Or something like, do you have a problem with it?
Did he expect you to cheer for him? Or
I don't know. He's like, do you have a problem? I was like, yes, I do. And he was like, he made a comment about how this is why he doesn't go dating, because of women like me. And I just thought, you didn't tell me you were trans. You didn't have it in your bio. It was male. Like, you lied to me.
Did he say anything?
No.
Not any hints during your conversation?
And then I remember the end of it, he said, it's my right. I reserve the right to say when I'm comfortable what my transition is or what isn't. I was like, but you should have told me. And I said it from the start. You should have told me.
Yeah.
And what got me annoyed was that this said person actually has a bit of a social media, whatever. And then I go on their social media and I see that they've commented on the evening.
Yeah.
And a lot of their followers are saying that I'm a horrible person for not wanting to carry on the date. And it hurt me because, again, it showed me the example
he put it on his social
posted
media.
it on social media that, like, he
what
had a
did he
terrible
say exactly?
date. He didn't name me or anything. He just said I had a terrible date with this, because he has like a journey.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a journey thing on Instagram.
On his YouTube, Instagram, whatever. And then he made a comment, and I made a comment saying, why didn't you tell her from the start? And a lot of people started commenting underneath saying, oh, it's his right. He reserves the right to tell when he's ready. And I'm just thinking, that's unfair.
But why proceed? Because I feel like anything sexual from like a kiss, that's like, you should try and say something. Yeah, something that's personal space. Yeah.
Because in a way, I could see that as like I mean, I can't say it's assault because you didn't assault me, but I did feel a bit like you waited till you kissed me before you told me.
Yeah.
Either to see my reaction or I'm not really sure. So it caused, because this happened in 2016 or 17. This is ages ago, before like there was a big conversation about trans. I mean, there was always conversation about trans, but I meant like a bigger conversation as it is nowadays. So for me, I was taken aback. I didn't know how to behave, and I was very hurt by it. And it annoyed me that a lot of the people on his comments were just saying, yeah, she was in the wrong for rejecting you. Yeah. And when it comes down to it, it's like a lot of females have to accept this now, that we're in the wrong all the time. But when actually we're not all the time in the wrong.
Do you think it could be down to the fact that it kind of somehow seems like, to some people, like a trend? Okay. And when it comes to trends, people just follow the trend without even knowing, how did this happen? How does that make me feel? Or what happens if I say this? So they don't really have their own opinions and their own stand. They just like follow. Yeah. So they just comment on what they think the other person would like to hear.
Yeah, possibly.
When it's okay to have an opinion. Like, it's okay to say, you know what? I feel like you owed her something before trying to kiss her. Like, you know what? Say it happened, he kissed you and then he said he doesn't have a penis, and then he didn't take it to heart, like he didn't take it personal. Like, he didn't need to get personal with you, like, do you hate trans people? No, he should expect, like, you know what, I'm gonna get in situations where if I don't tell someone who I am, and if they don't say, yes, I'm into this type of person, or I'm open to anyone, then maybe I should not be surprised if I get a pushback.
You know, and the thing about it is now, there's this TV show, I May Destroy You. There was an episode where her friends ended up going on a date with this guy, and he was talking about trans, and it was so interesting because I was sat there thinking, fuck, this happened to me. Ooh, sorry, I swore.
That's okay, it's fine. It's fine.
Like, I was thinking, fuck, this happened to me. Her friend was on a date, and then he said I was just like, wow, the way TV's glossing over how, like, you might feel annoyed by it.
Yeah.
Like, she was like, oh yeah, I'm okay with it. And I was like, there was no discussion there about how maybe you should say something to someone, you know. At the end of the day, there are things that you can't hide. Like, I can't hide the fact that I'm black. So I don't need to tell people that. You see it. Exactly. But then there's certain things about me that I would make sure to let you know, you know, just so that you don't get a misconception. Like the date, I probably would have... I don't know if I would have left early if he had told me. And I think that's probably why he
But you probably would have appreciated the fact that he was open about it.
Yeah.
Because in a way, as bad as it might sound, in a way you can get intrigued because you might like how ballsy he was to tell you, because that's a very personal thing. And then you're just like, you know what? I appreciate that. I'm going to come to this date. And you never know. Because you might have... I mean, you had kissed him.
Yeah.
Without knowing. Yeah. But imagine if that kiss was received in like... openly and knowingly of who he is, then that would have been like some sort of connection, whether it doesn't turn out to be anything, you know,
that might have happened,
but that could have happened because you had a connection initially without you knowing.
Thank you.
What makes him think you would not have that connection if you hadn't
told? Thank you. That's what I didn't understand, why he didn't paint that picture in his story. Was the fact that he was not clear from the start about who he was. And these are things that are very important. I'm not even trying to be rude, but I like penis. Okay? And I like to know I'm going to get penis.
Yes, ma'am.
I get excited at the thought of getting penis.
Is it something you buy in a shop? Why does it sound like that?
I mean, it's the truth. I'm not like hungry for it, but if I know I'm going to get it from someone, I get excited. That's how I know I'm straight.
Okay.
Like, I don't even attach myself to the man of it. It's the penis of it all.
Okay.
You know? So to know that wasn't there, that's a deal breaker for me. I'm sorry. That is a big deal breaker for me. Regardless if I connect with you, if I that's how I know I couldn't be with someone who transitioned.
Would you be with someone who is a trans woman? I suppose
no, I'm not gay.
Their aesthetics will be women, so you wouldn't.
I'm not gay though. I'm straight, so it would just be like.
I'm just saying, like someone who is like had just started their transition.
Nah, because I want to get it.
But that person would have it.
Oh, as in like, they're transitioning to a woman.
Yes.
As in they're a man with a penis.
Yes.
Fam, I'll date a drag queen. I'll date a guy who like dresses up in girls' clothes. I fully would. It's one of my fantasies to be with a man that dresses up in girls' clothes.
That sounds fun, you know. It sounds lit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But they have to be straight. Like, I want to meet a man who does drag and is straight. I want women.
Like Katie Price's husband. I would love. I forgot his name, but some cage fighter guy.
Yeah.
He used to be a crossdresser.
Yeah, that turns me on. I physically get turned on from that. But to know there's no penis, no. I'm sorry, no. And to know that person was aiming to lose the penis, no. I can't know that you're trying to get rid of your dick. That's why I'm here. Like, you know.
You can't just say you're only here for that. Like, surely there's other things.
No, there's other things. But, I mean, there's emotional connection and all the rest. But I need to know there's a penis involved. I can't. I've tried it with a girl and it was boring.
Why are you like this? Honestly, I'm just like dying.
I'm sorry.
I need to know there's a penis involved. Otherwise, I'm not for it. So.
I'm sorry, it's the truth. Like, that's what I mean by just go off into tangents. Like, but it's the truth. So for me, when I knew I wasn't getting that from him, regardless of, you know, the fact that he said it as a joke as well. He said, I don't have a penis. I was like, what? He said, yeah, I don't have a penis.
I'm just like...
And I was waiting for him to give me the punchline, like...
Nothing.
And I think now, if I met a trans man, so someone who's transitioned from woman to man, and if they told me from the start...
Yeah.
And also, I don't know, can you have trans penis surgery? Can you get...
Yeah, I think you can. Oh, to get it?
To get a penis.
I think you can.
And if they had a penis, I'll try it out.
Well, what?
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you've got the part I need, like the part that... makes me attracted to man.
That guy should have stayed and had this conversation with you, because then he'll probably, you know what, I'll see you in 2 years, or I'll see you down the line when I've got the
bean, you know.
If I'm with the bag,
you know. But that's the thing, because I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I could never date someone who's. But I'm saying I can't date someone that doesn't have a penis.
Okay, we get it. Now I think
I'm gonna stop talking about a penis part because I've said it too many times now.
It's okay. We don't discriminate. This is a safe space. We have created a space for people to come here and express their opinions and have a laugh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's okay to have an opinion. And 9 times out of 10, people's opinions, like, they do matter.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't say everyone's opinion, but most people's opinions do matter. Like, you are fighting for, like, not in a way like physically fighting or actively fighting, but the fact that you are, you know,
I'm vocalizing
your thoughts
in any way I can, so everyone understands. Because I went to a trans right march, and I do believe in trans rights. I really do.
Recently.
There was a recent march that happened the other weekend. But I think in creating rights, you need to create safe space for everybody, so no one feels infringed. Because when people feel infringed upon, that's when there's pushback. So it's all well and good giving people rights, but give them a safe space where they can actually live out that right.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what government is failing on.
I know. It's like they're not giving them like 100%. It's like, what's there to talk about? What's there to discuss? Like, if you are saying, yes, we're open and happy for this to carry on, and or for this people to just happily and, you know, naturally go into book an appointment and start your journey, you should also create spaces. So once I've transitioned, it's gonna be a process. I'm not gonna magically one day wake up with boobs and penis.
No.
So that means within that transition, they will have a space where they can go and be around other people that look like them, or other like-minded people that would not be judgy.
Yes.
Because if you come into the female, so for instance, I wouldn't scream if I'm not naked. But if I'm naked and someone walks in, I'm gonna scream. If I'm not naked, I'm just gonna be like shocked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing here? And then he would have to explain, or she would have to explain that, oh, no, I'm a woman, I'm just transitioning. I'm like, but mate,
do you get what I'm saying?
We don't have you have the,
and we just have to go with the person's word. Like,
what about the people you know what, we mentioned something really important, like to mention. Yeah. With that put in place, anyone can dress up, or anyone can walk in and say, I've just started my transition, I can go into the female's toilet
and watch women changing.
Yeah, like, how can you guarantee they're not in there watching
children changing? Like, this is what I'm saying. We need to be able to create spaces and not forget about the other spaces that were made. Because it's fair enough. I understand. This one is hard. I understand that in life there are things that we cannot change. There are things that we're born with, but then there are things that we can change. And instead of everyone like fighting, oh, they shouldn't be here, we should all unite in fighting for a safe space for them to be in.
Yeah.
Instead of it to be like, oh, they need to go here, they need to go there should be a safe space, a third box.
Yeah. You know what? That kind of reminds me, or kind of relates to how loads of things have happened in history.
Yeah.
For example, I'm just looking at it, how even with the, with the segregation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like when the law is passed, like, but these people can have rights. They're not creating safe spaces. And then they're pushing them out in the world saying, listen, this is now a free place for you to have a play around. Free space for you to, mingle with other people.
Yeah.
But forgetting there are people in those places who are not ready, who did not even want that.
Yeah.
So instead of creating spaces where, here's a space in the middle where we can all meet as we all get used to this.
Yes.
Okay. And this has happened throughout. So that kind of creates, without that safe space, it creates this hate.
Yeah. Bubble of
among different groups, because everyone feels like they're not respected. Everyone feels like, the other people are not accepting them, or people feel like they're being phased out.
Yeah.
Which should not be happening. So why do we have governments in places? Like, surely they should be thinking about, by passing this law, do they not think far down the line?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I don't understand.
It's not even far down the line.
It's right now. It's happening right now, because you've made a law. I mean, fair enough, in England it's a bit different, a bit regressive. They recently passed a bill that does not allow for self-identification in this country. And also there's another, what's the other one about... I'm not saying this is layman's terms, but basically they can't have any regressive gene therapy pills until they're about 18 or so. So when they're younger, even if they might identify, they can't start that therapy process until they're older and they've gone through therapy essentially mentally to understand what it is they want to do. So this country has said, it's not going to start from young, not at all. So that, I think the march was a little bit about that last week.
Which you went to?
Yeah, that I went to. Because I think that personally, this is my personal opinion, people should have a right to choose when they want to start transitioning. But for the government, because there's been a lot of cases of people transitioning and then wanting to detransition.
Yes.
It's a lot. You have to think about the process, the money and all the rest. So they're trying to
even
put
the bullying
safe.
in school.
The bullying in school. Oh, school.
That's tough enough.
School's hard. That's just a side note. School's hard. Like,
do you know, like, I mean, to be fair, like, I wouldn't. I've watched a few videos of people detransitioning.
Yeah.
And I have felt sorry for them.
Yeah,
and
same.
I felt like there wasn't anyone to protect them, because as a child you are confused sometimes.
Yeah.
And you see so many things happening in your life, and they have an impact.
Yeah.
In how you decide things and how you communicate.
Yeah.
So goes back to how there's some, especially in this day and age, there's so many trends. I'd like to use that word trends, because when it comes to trends, people tend to follow their trend. So if you have a friend who has a friend and you've been talking about this thing that you watch, or they don't feel like women or men, boys or girls when they're younger, like those thoughts start to grow. And if you're in an environment that accepts anything, you can just go speak to your mom or dad, and the parents should not be naive. Like, you just take it with a pinch of salt and
the
ask
ones
questions.
where they feel like, because there's such a pushback on the idea, when they told their parents, I want to be a guy, they end up wanting it even more, because their parents said
pushback.
No, or I want to be a girl.
Because you're a child.
Because you're young when you're saying these things.
And you're more rebellious.
This is why I don't think that changing. This is why I really just feel like a changing room, when a child is going to be there, especially if the child is not aware, fully has no understanding, should not have all of this controversy. Like, it really shouldn't. They should just create a safe space so that there's no need for it. Because when you're a child and you're seeing these things, it creates confusion in your mind.
And you know what? Confusion then can lead to so many negative things down the line. Even if you into abuse, and I don't know, just
these spaces just shouldn't have all of this controversy into it. Like, at the end of the day, a changing room is gender based for safety. That's mainly the reason why.
Yeah.
And then if you want to take the gender base out of it and say, okay, well, we have the right to go over it because we identify as this gender. If you're not presenting as this gender, it can be very confusing to those who might not understand it.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you don't have that space created where you don't have to be the advocate for every single trans or every single... Imagine this, like, because sometimes I feel like when I'm in certain spaces, I'm the advocate for black people because I'm the only black person that's around for miles. I'm the only black person. Like, the other day at my work, someone said the N-word. I was the only black person. You best believe I said no. I could have ignored
Good
that
on you.
and pretended. And I said no, I spoke on it and I tried to diplomatically handle it.
Okay.
Because that was at work. You know, with their microaggression. They know themselves. Anyways, but it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't have that where every single trans person, let's say in every situation, feels like they're the advocate because there's no safe space for them. So they will end up feeling like, okay, for example, that person didn't know that she was going to ricochet this amount of conversation.
Yeah.
She just wanted to change, you know?
Exactly. You know what? I hadn't looked at it from that angle, okay? This trans woman walked into this... She thought this was a safe space. And you know what? Kudos to her, because she actually thought this was a safe space. Because imagine if she walked into the men, they would have been like, you're maybe lost, or they probably wouldn't have done anything. They just don't care. I mean, I have used men's bathrooms. They walk in, they see me, they say, that's it. Literally, that's always
but it's a bit different though when you're trans. I feel like men are very aggressive towards trans men transitioning to women. I feel like a lot of men are very unnecessarily aggressive towards them. So that's why she might have thought the female changing room is a safer space.
But then that's the thing. It's like I feel like I would have thought a little bit deeper into it. I would just been, okay, I'm going in here, but do I look...
I wouldn't have stripped
would anyone
myself.
Exactly, I wouldn't strip.
I wouldn't have stripped, because you'd have to think about the fact that even if you want to be a woman, you still have a part of a penis. And if a man was to walk in here and do the same thing as she did, you best believe everyone, even you, the transitioning woman, would be like, whoa. But then you have that male part. So it's like a weird battle that she probably had to go through. I hope that person's okay, in terms of, I don't want her to get death threats, because that's usually what happens and stuff.
I mean, to be fair, like, they didn't really show her.
No, they did. She was downstairs in the hallway, which is good.
Then now to think about it, I don't even think it's safe for trans men to go into the men's changing rooms, because I was looking at it before as just them going into the toilet.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like, no one's really like fully naked in like the men's toilet.
Yeah.
But imagine changing rooms. I don't think that some of them will be comfortable. Some men would not care, but I don't think some of them would be comfortable. Like watching another male, who is also a woman. Yeah, of course that raises question on both sides.
That's what it's the space needs to be created, and until that space is created, there's going to be more incidents like this, and it's going to keep being polarized, you know. And I'm all for the space being created. I'm on the side of more women than anything, and I know that I will say it with my hand on my chest, I will always be on the side of females, regardless of if it's a transitioning female or a biological female. I'm on the side of a female, but I also am on the side of safe spaces, you know. I do understand that it's important to create safe space.
Those are two different things. Yeah. And not to, like, you know, confuse the two.
Yeah.
Like,
because when it comes to sports, it's different. I keep dropping that hint because
you might. I mean, tell us your thoughts, because you know what?
Nah.
Today I watched something. Today I watched something. Oh, that just winding me up. I mean, there's, like you said, like, sports is just a bit like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I was on Instagram, and that girl that got banned because they found some substance. I had
the marijuana thing. Yeah, but she knew that. And then, like,
they're letting like a trans woman.
But those are two different things.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, those are two different things. But the fact that these two things are happening.
Okay, cool, yeah.
I'm just like, okay,
I think it's very unfair. They shouldn't have that trans woman on the team. It's very unfair. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna say it again. Biology. You can't fight that. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. I used to be in sports, so I know, like, how hard it is for a woman to work, and to feel like at the end of the day, let's say this trans
even body
woman,
alone,
like, I just come on, doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. Create another category where trans women, because there's going to be a lot of trans women in sports now, where trans women can compete against each other. Because biological women compete against each other. You know,
there's nothing wrong with having another
nothing wrong with having another gender category. Just create it so that women don't feel threatened, don't feel like, listen, what's going to happen is going to be a bunch of female athletes are going to be like, why should I bother? Especially if they start, the trans artists, sorry, I'm forever an artist. The trans athletes start winning stuff. It's going to be like a case of, why should I bother?
Exactly.
They're going to win it. Like,
or even the trans women flopping on purpose just so it doesn't look like they're cheating. Or look like they've got an advantage.
To the best of their advantage. And I think it's unfair. Create a category. You want to change laws, change the law. Create a category. At the end of the day...
Two more categories, please.
2 more categories, please. We need a category where people, let's say, for example, there's a woman who does not mind going up against a trans woman. That category, mixed category. And we're not saying to put man and women in sports, because I'm sorry, like, it doesn't happen like that. Imagine a man and female, imagine a man, like, ooh, big girl, yeah, in a boxing match with another woman.
Man, you're too much.
Imagine that, though. The man's gonna beat up the woman, yeah?
Oh, shit. Like, imagine, boxing matches.
Yeah, imagine boxing. Like, some trans woman coming in. Come on. It's different. Yes. She's gonna beat her up, yeah? And then I'm watching a man beat up a woman, and I'm saying it's all right.
It's like, yeah, they're 2 women.
What?
Nah.
No. So this one I'm very adamant about, and I said this in the trans march that I went to. I said the same thing, and I tried to have a conversation with people. Yeah, of course I did. People were like, oh yeah, that's not fair. Because at the end of the day, if you're identifying, it's not about identifying. It's about your weight. It's about your thighs. It's about your arms. It's about what you can do. And the physique of a man is stronger than the physique of a woman.
You know what? There's another thing about, like, trans women getting boobs and saying, oh, I have boobs now. There's something about real boobs. It's like they're attached to your soul. Yeah. When you're running, you feel like...
Yeah.
There's something.
Just because you have the artificial doesn't mean
it's not the same.
That's why I don't want the space for the original in terms. And I am saying original. I stand by saying original because biological women are original women.
We should not even be saying original.
We have to now, because there's so many people that are passing. You won't be able to tell. Okay, and that's the truth.
True.
And that's the honest truth.
That is so true.
If you don't have a period,
even some of them hotter than us,
still be a woman. I honestly believe that, because some women don't have periods, some women can't have children.
Yeah,
that doesn't define your womanhood. It's the biology of the fact that the makeup is a woman. That defines it for me personally, because I had to learn that before. I used to be like, oh, if you have a period, if you don't have a period, you're not a woman.
No,
but that's not true.
It's not
some
true.
Women can't have periods.
And there's so many other things, or genetics that come into play.
But they're still a biological woman. But those that have it put into them, you have to just... I don't understand. I just don't understand why it's a fight for them to want to be called biological women when it's not biological.
So they want to be actually identified as
a biological woman. And it's
I'm like, define the word biological.
Biological is how your genes are, how you were made from the inside.
And I presume the reason why they want biological is because in their heads or in their mind, they're born women. So they think that's biological. But that's your thoughts. We can't see. Woman. Exactly. That's a
mental. Like...
No. But that's obviously, that's like a... within you. Yeah. Okay? We can't see that. Whereas like, how you were born, how you were born.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm very, very adamant about the fact that in sports, there needs to be another category, because women are under fire right now. Because that trans woman has been let on the team, we'll have to wait and see what happens. There's going to be so much eyes on her.
Which is not fair on her. Because I'm pretty sure all she wants to do is just compete.
Yes.
And because there's no category for her. Compete. And the closest category is women.
Make a category, make the safe space, make a change. If you really want, they don't want change. That's the thing. The Olympic body don't want change. They want to be rigorous and stay the same.
Is holding on to the tradition. You know, that's a problem everywhere. People holding on to traditions that mean nothing. Yep. Because the world is progressing.
Over and over again.
Exactly, the world is progressing. We need to get with what's happening. You can't just say pass the rights, but then like keep the toilets the same. Those two things can't exist. Yeah. Because you are trying to show like, yes, I am progressing and I'm with the times, but at the same time, I quite like this bit. I don't want to change that bit.
Yeah. It's what?
But then with that bit, kind of works hand in hand. So, what are you trying to say? What are you doing?
It's like they want to on paper have these changes, but don't want to implement the changes to make it comfortable. Because I'm telling you this: if there was a law for a new toilet to be made, there was a unisex toilet in every single toilet place, people will be happy. Some trans people will use it and some won't. That's fine. But then we know there is a safe space. We know, okay, there's a space for them to go to. There's a space that they could go to, not to feel anyway. And if trans people were against that, then it shows to me personally that you do not want to have a safe space.
Yeah.
You just want to infringe on others' space. That's different. I mean, I can't speak for all trans people because I'm not trans in any way. Like, I'm happy as a girl. I knew I was a girl and I'm calm. I don't ever want to be a guy. Hello.
Hi.
And stuff. You know, it makes me feel good to be a woman. But I want the same feeling for my trans sisters.
Yeah.
But they're not going to feel good if everywhere they go there's this weird conflict.
You know what? They're not going to feel good if the ultimate goal is to be referred to as a woman. You should be comfortable and know if I've transitioned and the term for being in this space of the term is trans woman, then that's who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I should not be shocked if someone calls me a trans woman, and I should also not be shocked if someone calls me a woman, because aesthetically, I look like a woman.
Yeah.
Okay. But if there's gonna be situations, if I'm not fully transitioned, where I'm not gonna look like a full woman.
Yeah.
So if someone calls me, "Oh, are you a trans woman?" I should not be offended. Why are you? I'm like, why are you fighting? It's like, mate, this is evidence. Why are you fighting? Like, I'm looking at you. Why are you getting defensive? Is it something? Maybe that is about how they feel. Like, is it that sensitive? Like,
I honestly feel like they're taking into consideration the feelings of trans people without taking into consideration the feelings of biological women. And a lot of biological women do not want their space to be infringed on.
Yeah.
In sports or in the changing room or anywhere, to be honest.
I mean, athletes work hard. I mean, to get to the global stage, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And to feel like, okay, fair enough, maybe you were better than that person or you could have been better, but to feel like, oh no, I might not be as good because that's a man I'm competing against. Like, when you could just make it weight category wise, create a new space for them so that, and I'm sure in the future that space will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and there'll be a whole section,
and then it would just be like this space, or like just any other space, the other space,
so everyone knows that, okay, cool, yeah, this person. Because if you transition, usually these people are proud of their transition.
I mean, if we have like disabled Olympics, why can't we have
trans?
Yeah, if anything, we can have trans Olympics.
Yeah, a whole Olympics.
Exactly,
just for them. I'll watch it.
Me too.
That's a great idea.
You know what? That shit will be lit.
We should do that. That's what we should do. We should have a trans Olympics.
100%.
Then that way no one can say nothing. Olympics, Paralympics, Translympics. Boom. Done. But then the trans people want to be included in that.
I think
they'll feel like,
we're segregating. No, it's nothing to do.
It's just making sure you have your space to do what you need to do without judgment.
That is so true. Like, they just need something they can call their own and like physically have. And like someone asks you where you going to, just like I don't know, Trans Olympics. So then it's easier to know, like, I'm a fan, or
it's. I think that's sort of idea.
What? It's like competing at your stage.
We need to be on the board.
I know.
Why they need us at a whole Olympics, like
just for trans?
Host it in London.
Imagine, like,
the first ever Trans Olympics. Wow.
And you know what? That will actually like promote competition.
Yeah.
Like, if you
get all trans people coming out. If you know
another trans woman is on this with you just say, oh snap, I need to get my game out. Yeah. But if you know just another woman's is there, you're like, I've got the power behind me. I've always been powerful because you've been a man.
Cycling, like the cycling, like the thighs. The cycling is different because, unfortunately for us girls, we just can't get it as thick as men. I mean, we can, but like it's the muscle mass inside of that.
Yeah,
the thigh
there's less women.
Yeah.
That do get to that stage of growing, thigh muscle than men. They're more
the
men.
They have it naturally. So if I'm a cyclist, and I know there's a trans woman who is transitioned, is ish in the same weight category, but her thighs aren't, I won't really feel good about going to that competition because I know that the power behind her thighs are ultimately bigger than mine. But let's say I win, I'll feel even better. I'll be like, I beat a man. Yeah. That's what I would be thinking. I beat a man. I wouldn't be thinking I beat a trans woman. I'd be thinking I beat a man.
But then that's not, you know what?
That's wrong.
Exactly. That's wrong. I'm with you on that one. Yeah. If I was an Olympian, okay, and I was like a original woman, to go with that word, and I was competing against a trans woman, okay, if I won, I'll be so happy, and I'll look at this as I beat you and you're a man. Yeah. Like, I came, like,
I beat a man.
Yeah, I beat a man. I wouldn't think like, I beat another woman.
I think I beat a man.
That's if I know. Yeah. You know what will make it even like sweeter? Like, say I think I beat a woman. Yeah. And then down the line I find out you're trans. I'll just be like, oh snap, I beat a man. And then in the same breath I'm like, but that's kind of cheating. What?
Yeah. Why are you allowed to? Why are you to compete?
Yeah. Because maybe the third person would have been the second person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. And another thing that gets to me is basically a lot of black women were called men throughout their sports life and stuff, like Serena Williams and all the rest. And now there's actual trans people who are actual transitioning men. It's like you can see the difference. You can see that like black women were not men and we were just strong and we're just a bit different, built different than some people.
I think it's nothing to do like with strength. It's like resilient. Like,
resilience, like all of that and stuff. So for me, it's a bit like, oh, on the one hand, y'all were calling black women men competing, but now there's actual men competing and y'all don't want to do anything about it. It's mad. I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong and if I hurt any trans person's feelings in my opinions. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. Like, I'll just be real. I'm not sorry. And And
but it's good to know where you stand.
I'm not sorry about having my opinions and wanting there to be a safe space for everybody. I'm not sorry in that.
Do you know what? You don't need to apologize, because your opinion doesn't come like, this is my opinion, take it.
Yeah.
It also comes with some sort of understanding. Like, listen, this is my opinion, but I feel like they should also create something for you. Because in the space you're in, you're creating confusion. You're creating, some of us are not ready to receive what's happening, or some of us are never going to be happy with sharing a space with,
especially religious people.
And we will be happily, like, I would be happily, and I don't even care walking into a bathroom and there's a trans woman who's fully formed, because I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
I'm not even looking at, say, her body. Like, if I see it, unless of course I glance at a man and I see their private, but then I'll know that's a man who's transitioning. Clearly I can tell, but they're still a man. But if I see a woman, say, who was, previously a man, but they're fully a woman, I wouldn't know.
How am I gonna know?
Exactly.
You're not gonna know. So then it does work in terms of when you're fully transitioned, no one's gonna have a problem with you.
True.
When you're mid-transition, there has to be the space where there's no questions asked, no uncomfortable, this and that. There needs to be a space created.
Yeah.
And it's not like a space that has to be forced upon them, but if they know there is a space for them to go to, I'm pretty sure a lot of them will go to that space. And those who are transitioned in terms of toilet changing and fully look like a woman, they probably would go to the woman one, because everything about them is woman.
They also would not be comfortable being in the safe space where people are not fully transitioned. Because
they might be comfortable, they might not be comfortable.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah.
It's that safe space. There is that place. It's not like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like unless government goes this way, there is definitely going to be a lot of conflict.
But you know what? I think also, like, if I'm playing devil's advocate and think about why the government wouldn't put this place forward, like this safe space forward, this space might need some governance, or might need someone to just, like, be there watching, like, the toilets. Like, you look like you don't belong in either places, so you need to go in here.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe that conversation happened and they got so confused. They're like, you know what, let's just leave it as it is. So I just feel like some people are just...
Maybe choice though, less of like a guided thing.
I know, but I just feel like, which even now it happens, there are some men sometimes who just walk into the female changing room.
I know, they're so annoying.
Yeah, they just walk in. I'm like, I'm lost.
Where was I? I was in this like pool thing, and then this guy, he was like, oh yeah, I'm lost, sorry, but he'd come out of one of the cubicles, so he'd been in there for a while.
So yeah,
it was like, very strange.
You're not lost. You have actually used the toilet.
That he fully like went into the ladies' toilets, changed, and then came out and like was acting like he was. I remember this was a while ago now, and then we were all just staring at him because like he made it known that he was there.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. That was just a weird, creepy man. But you want to avoid situations like that for sure.
No, exactly. So it's okay. I'm gonna end up. Is that okay? Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, I think maybe that happened, that confusion.
Yeah. And
they weren't sure how to, have something in place that was safe for both of them. So maybe that's why. But I would hope they do.
I hope in the future there is a clear like.
And if there is, people to respect. Because then I think if I knew this is a safe space, I wouldn't go in there, because that's people's space where they can be themselves. Yeah. Why would I walk in there?
Yeah.
And it's a changing room. Like, that means they're naked.
Yeah, and there's no room for judgment at all.
Yeah.
Because that's safe space. I do hope that's created. I don't know if that will ever be a thing, but I'm glad we're talking about it.
Let's be optimistic and hope. Like you said, we need to be on the board of the...
We need to be on the board of the Olympics.
We need to be on the board of the Olympics to give us some ideas. Especially about black women and how to treat them.
Did you hear the thing about the whole Olympics rejecting the swimming cap for Afro?
I didn't even know until I saw that in an article. I was like, where have I been?
Why is swimming caps that like? Ugh, that's a topic for another day, mate.
Anyway, any last words for anyone listening?
Well, I hope what we talked about today doesn't trigger anyone, and if it does, I hope you're thinking about it, because it is going on right now.
Get in touch, of course. If it does, feel free to message me.
Yeah, get in touch. We'll talk about it further.
We can talk about this.
This is stuff that's going on right now.
Exactly. And it's quite confusing, especially some of us that have grown up and these things are just happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Loads to learn and loads to respecting each other's privacies and transition journeys.
Yes.
And respecting what's already there, but then creating a safe space.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This was a lovely discussion.
Yeah.
I did go on a bit, but
I loved it.
Yeah. I hope like, you know, I hope there's change in the future because it's close to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? No, that's fine. But you know what? Something about change, I feel like change is just saying tomorrow. Like it always needs to happen. So it's just like tomorrow. Literally, it's like you do one thing and you find out you need to do another thing.
That's true.
Anyways, thanks guys for listening. Thank you, Sybil, for joining us
Thank you.
today. It's been lovely chatting to you, and hopefully we'll catch you up. You know, come back.
Yes, indeed. I hope to come
more
back.
topics. We'll have more topics. I'll send you like a whole list of topics.
Yeah. We'll just talk about everything.
Yeah, guys, thank you for listening. That's good aura. Bye.
Goodbye.